listening to The Mentality Show, only on LA Talk Radio.
All right, welcome back to episode 16 of The Mentality Show. We are back, gentlemen. That's right.
We are back.
Feels good to be back. Feels good to be back.
Feels good to be back.
Yeah.
Feels real good,
vacation,
man.
Mini vacation.
You guys got excuses. We might be a little bit rusty here because it's been about 2 weeks. We're full of, all the shit we ate on 4th of July. I went to Tech C's house, his family. I mean, they took care of me. I mean, what we had, like, he had everything.
Man.
Everything but chitlins was on that table. It was delicious food, man. Delicious. And it feels good to be back. A lot of shit happened since we've been gone, man. A lot of shit happened. LeBron James is with the LA Lakers.
LeBron, baby.
In the house,
Welcome.
baby.
Yeah.
Bron is here, baby. We are about to start winning 5 extra games because of him.
This
He ain't
year.
got nobody else on the team but him, man.
Barely make the playoffs. We'll
Barely
get there,
make the
though.
playoffs.
I bought the LeBrons, right? And then he comes to LA. So it's like Magic. Magic.
Negative.
Dodgers got a new player too.
Dodgers,
Oh,
yes.
they got him
Machado.
already?
Yeah.
Did they?
Yeah, it's coming
Who'd
to
they
LA.
get?
Hey, nice.
Manny
Manny
Machado.
Machado.
See, I'm not a baseball guy, so
we
Manny
are,
Machado, that sounds like some type
weird
of
name.
Mexican food you eat or something.
Taco.
Yeah, let me get the taco Manny Machado, please. But so we are feeling good. We are back. Everybody had a good week, gentlemen.
That's right.
A very good week.
Everybody feels good. Let me introduce you to our co-host on the show. I'm your host, Delano. Okay.
Delano.
And in case you don't know me, that's who I am. And then we got my man Sexy Texy here to my right. What's up, Sexy Texy? Yeah, you feel good?
Feel good.
You feel good? Okay. All right. You got your beer going. You
My
set?
beer, my LA cup.
That's right.
All right. Perfect. Vato V in the house.
Show me Raza, what's happening?
That's right. Vato V is our man on the streets. He's executive producer on the show. He's our guest booker and things like that.
right.
We're going to get into our guests in a second. 2 people are probably wondering who the hell is this pretty lady sitting to my left. Trust me, I'm going to get to her. So let me introduce our new guy on the show. He is officially part of the show. As you know, we've been auditioning this chair. We finally found our guy, Mr. LaShawn the Dunn in the house.
That's right.
That's right. That's right.
WWE style, baby. Mentality.
That's right, baby.
It's all a mentality.
That's all mentality. He's
Like
our.
you think this is beer, but it's Kool-Aid. You know, it's a mentality. Think right.
See, LaShawn Dunn, he's a stand-up comedian. He's performing all throughout Los Angeles and all across the nation, really. I mean, this man's very funny. We had him on the show. We loved him. The audience chimed in. They love the guy, so he is here to stay, and we're glad to have you, my man.
Yes.
We're
Glad to be here. This
Welcome
is
aboard, baby.
fun. I appreciate
Yes.
that, yo.
Yes.
Y'all extended your hand out to me, and I grabbed that son bitch, and
squeezed it.
now we're here. So
That's right.
let's
All
get
kinds-
it.
Yes,
Don't
sir.
grab it and pull it somewhere. And I'll be like,
I started to, but then I was like, nah, we just got here. So
We just met. We just met.
we just met. You know?
Hand jobs are 2 shows after.
That's right.
All right, and speaking of our special guest here, let's please welcome to the show. Please welcome to the show. Please welcome to the show. She is here, our lady, Miss Heathyr Francis.
Simon Heather.
Heathyr
Hi,
Francis,
Mentality
welcome.
Show viewers. Nice
Yes.
to be on the show. Thank you guys for having me.
So good to have you here, Heathyr
Yeah.
Francis, and
Appreciate it.
and you are our first guest since we've been back. So this is a
Cool.
big show here, and we're happy to have you. And you let me tell the audience a little bit about you, okay?
Sure.
Heathyr Francis, she's a host and actress. She has her website is lovedab.com. DAB stands for, I'll let you tell them what DAB stands for. I love it. I love it.
Sure. Well, there's a lot of dabbing going on out in the world. There's like the dance dabbing, there's the weed dabbing,
That's right.
and we love both of those things for sure. But the DAB company is a women empowerment company. It's an online organization, and basically what we do is we teach all the young generations and the older generations all the things that mom never taught you. So it's just a way for us to share our voice, kind of like what you guys are doing here on the show, and just talking about like relationships and life and and all different types of things.
That's right. That's awesome because we talked to her a lot before the show, and I have a lot of questions for you regarding questions that women ask you and questions that women want to know about men and things like that. And that's what we're here.
Yeah.
That's what our show is all about. The Mentality Show. We are 4 grown-ass men here with our own experiences that we like to share with the rest of the world and all of our viewers out there. If you're a young man and you want to know how it is to be a grown-ass man, talk to us, okay? If you are a woman and you want to know what men talk about, you want to be
Yes.
like a fly on the wall, we are the show you want to watch, okay? And if you're a grown man and you don't have your shit together, please watch the show. We'll help you out a little bit there. A couple of us still are trying to get our shit together, but You know, we're working on. We cover everything on this show, folks. Everything on this show. Everything.
Right.
I mean, everything from Donald Trump to what's going on in politics and everything from LaShawn, Texie, Vato V. Everyone on this row is the reason why I was voted the most handsome on the show. Just to let you know, okay?
There's that sound.
They're all shaking their head.
All
What else did we cover there about?
Hey, so we got so from relationships, fitness, and people getting naked to why do all the women Delano's been with always have to fake it?
Ooh, that hurts. I will never tell you my personal business again.
The ladies just sit there like, Delano.
Hey, at least they making noises. Though, right? I'm doing something. I'm doing something right.
At
Wrong
least they
noise.
remember your name too.
Right,
That's good.
I'm not doing the Bill Cosby style where they're just, you know. No, actually, it's eyes closed, right?
They're knocked out.
George, wait, who?
Apparently that drug, I think they did have recollection. They could see shit, but they could, you know, they was just like out of body experience. That shit.
Stuck.
Bill's dick is in me. Fuck out.
Or they wake up with some sticky on them. They're like, this is not Jell-O pudding. This is Bill Cosby stuff. I'll just say that, Bill Cosby jizz. All right, what else did we cover, Tech?
From the guy in a current event and his indecent exposure to Delano does the same shit. I just wanted to say it, you know. Put it out there. You know? Didn't rhyme, but fuck it. Just want to put a scary secret out there. Naked ass running around and shit.
Texie's talking about what we're going to talk about in our current event today
Right.
regarding a young man who,
Like to show his ass.
yeah, exactly. So we'll get into that. LaShawn, what else do we cover?
Yo, by the way, I think he wasn't naked. He had some socks on, but
Oh yeah. he did.
we're gonna get into that.
Sandals too?
Yes.
That's my trademark, man. Oh shit, that was me.
That was me.
My bad. I
got a
think that
feather
was
tattoo.
it. Let's lift your arm real quick. Look.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
See
No,
that
we gotta
feather
see if that
tattoo.
feather tattoo is on that dude. But listen, you know, I'm new to the show, and I appreciate these fellas right here. And you know, as you know, my name's LaShawn the Don.
That's right.
Okay. I mean, you piss me off, might fuck your mom. I don't know.
That's how we do it here. That's how we roll here on the Mentality Show. All right, so let's go ahead and get into this thing. We're going to cover all the whole gamut of things, and once again, the phone number here, Texie. Let's give the folks our phone number.
It is 818-570-5085.
570. If you, the audience, want to chime in on some things, give us a call at 818-570-5015, and we'll get these things covered for you. Even if it has nothing to do with what we're talking about, ask that question because we're here to help you. Like Dr. Phil, I'm here to help you, and I want to make sure you are someone that I can help. Anyway, so let's go ahead and get into it. So we have, as you know, on our show, we like to cover we like to go into our current event, and then we like to go into the deep section
That's right.
of what we were talking about.
Balls deep.
Balls deep.
Balls deep. There we go.
Balls deep.
Of what it's the meat and potatoes of our show, and our meat and potatoes today is: can a couple survive a sexless relationship? Okay, can someone survive a relationship when they're not getting any? That's a good question. We're going to cover that. But before we get into that, let's, as I promised, let's get into our current event. Sammy, our producer, if you can go ahead and put that picture up. Let's go ahead and talk about this thing. All right, there's apparently a young white man in
Weirdo.
San Francisco area.
Vato V.
If he has socks on, we might need to question you about
Wait a
this.
minute. There's no socks. That's not me. Okay.
No, he does have socks on.
Well,
Yeah,
no sandals. No
sorry.
sandals.
Is he on the screen there?
He is, yeah. He kind of looks like Adam Sandler.
Oh no.
He's in full jerk mode. He's just, his neck out, turtle.
Ready to go.
This dude, this guy, okay, apparently he goes around, this is in San Francisco area, I believe, right?
Yes.
He goes around and he peeps in certain windows and he gets his jollies by, rubbing and tucking himself and all that. And they actually caught this guy on camera and he's wanted right now. No one knows who he is, so that's why we put the picture up because we really want to catch this guy. We all have a law enforcement background.
ASAP.
And this can get serious, guys. I know this is funny right now, but this can turn into something serious because, as we all know, it all starts when you're a peeping Tom. That's like rapist 101. It all starts with the whole peeping Tom situation, and then this person decides to fuck this, I'm just gonna break in and get it, and then he just goes in and rapes him and all that type of stuff. He graduates to rape,
Yeah.
So this man needs to get caught, whoever he is, and at least put some shoes on, bro. I mean, you gonna get bucket naked, man? I mean, everybody can see your public hairs.
We better catch this motherfucker before he graduates to rape.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, because that's where it's going. That's where it's going.
This is sorry tattoo
Scary.
too.
How do you even
There's a
get
tattoo.
to that
Yeah.
point? Like, how do you get to that
Yeah.
point where your need to be naked in public and be jerking your stuff? Like, did he have a fine babysitter that he fantasized?
I know, yeah, what's going on right there, right?
You know, like, because how do you get to that level? It's like, you don't just start there.
Right.
Something had to
Some
happen.
mental
But
health shit,
it's
man.
one of the weird things. Like, hey, you know what, man? I got a confession. I like sniffing baby diapers. Like, how did you get there?
Yeah.
The baby wipes.
Like, yo, like, this is crazy. So
That's a hell of a fetish.
I'd
Oh,
like to
man.
get inside the noodle of that guy.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
see what his brain is like. What the fuck?
Is
is
he
I don't know.
on
I don't know.
drugs?
Yeah,
Clever.
On
yeah.
drugs? Is he taking anything?
I wouldn't be surprised if
I
he
mean,
is taking
probably.
something. You're right.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah,
he,
it's gotta
you
be.
know,
I mean,
Yeah.
he smokes
but
a little.
some people just like
go
to be
jack off.
naked though,
Maybe
and
he's
they just
dabbing.
don't think there's an issue with it.
This guy, well, you can see he's kind of bent over, so he knows he's doing wrong because he's trying to hide, but
Being
yet he's
naked,
still doing
okay.
his thing.
Hey,
Like if he was just sitting there like, "Hey, what's
Yeah.
up, world?"
Right,
then it's
right,
different. But
okay.
Hey, but if he's naked, if he's naked in his house, fuck it, whatever. But he's naked in somebody
Right.
else's house.
Yeah, it's not great.
no, he's outside.
No, he's somebody's pad, man.
He's outside, yeah.
No,
He's outside
it looks
somebody's
like-
pad.
Yeah, he's outside
He's
somebody's
outside,
pad,
yeah.
outside in public.
and-
If he was doing that in well, if he was doing it in someone else's house, it's still a crime because that means he broke in
Right.
their
Of
house to
course.
do it.
Yeah.
But if he's doing it in his house, then I mean, it's his house. Just
right.
close the
Yeah.
windows.
right, right.
Right. So
I mean, that's
makes it
basically
normal then, right?
That's normal. Yeah, exactly.
Right. Right. I mean, we
Real
all,
life.
you know,
do that.
gotta, release and stuff. So, how do you feel about this, Heather? How you feel about men, doing crazy shit like this? Men are crazy. We're
Yeah, well,
we're
like you
some
said,
sick
I mean,
individuals.
yeah, keep it in your house. I mean, yeah, that's whatever, that's what's up. But keep it in the house. But yeah, no, on the street, no, it's very uncomfortable. I think it's very uncomfortable for a woman. I mean, even like a mom, like with their daughter in the car or something, just driving by a random street, and the little girl's like, oh, what's that?
Yeah.
It's that's not stuff that we want to share in our world.
You got to
Definitely
explain that now.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, he's just making sure these people's electricity is working.
Yeah, yeah, like or he lost.
what do you
like,
say?
Yeah, or like he lost his clothes, or like I don't know. Honestly, I would say I'd be like, oh, he must have left his clothes somewhere. I don't know what I would say, but yeah, something. If your mom instincts come in.
Yeah, I mean, now you have to deal with that with your
Yeah,
child.
yeah,
and
that's like
stuff,
not
man.
a problem you want to have during the day. No.
I'm like, damn it. Just fucked up my day, brother. Like, God damn it.
If y'all saw that, if y'all were walking by, just happened to see some dude crouched over looking at somebody's window doing this to himself,
Yeah,
what would you do as a man? What would you do?
Hey, oh my
What would you say?
God.
Pato V?
Reaction is you want to
Throw sandals at him?
Throw him some sandals. Hey, here you go.
At least put these on, man. Come on,
Yeah.
man.
I'll try to kick.
I
You know
think-
what? Honestly, man, your point, you want to kick this guy's ass. You know what I mean? Because he's just pretty much an asshole. But obviously, like, hey, just do the right thing, call and see what's up,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
let officials take care of that, man. Because
Yeah.
you know what? Personally speaking, I was driving one time and with my little girl in the car, and there was this bastard that was on the corner, just handling and shit. And I was like,
Oh,
fuck.
boy.
Luckily, my little girl was on the phone. And I was like, okay, I'm glad she's not looking. Like, what am I going to
devices.
do? I can't get on the phone and be
Wow.
like, this guy jacking off in the corner over here. Like,
Right,
you know
right,
what I mean?
right.
Like,
Wow.
that's.
If I saw him, I
Can't text
have
the
a
police yet today.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Good
can't
point.
text the cops. Hey,
if I have a 12-year-old daughter.
crime occurring on the corner
Of so and so and so. and so.
Yeah.
Hey, that's a good
Should.
idea, man.
I have a
Okay.
12-year-old daughter. If she saw, if she was in the vicinity of that, and I knew she was in the vicinity of that, I would try to get her out of that situation as soon as possible.
That's
But if there was a situation where she had to see that, now I feel like I need to whoop somebody ass.
that's the
man.
thing, man. Like,
I gotta teach, throw something at him or something.
Yeah.
Pour some cold water on the dude, whatever.
Suck their
Just
nuts.
something, man.
Hey, come here.
Yeah.
It's a
I don't
sick
know.
thing.
I think it's one of those things that's funny because it's not your situation. Like you didn't bust this guy in your backyard.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. As it's in San Francisco.
Right.
It's nowhere near L.A. So we can laugh at that shit. But in the reality, somebody has dealt with that. Maybe
Somebody's been
doesn't
victimized,
have a
right?
kid.
Of course.
So an ass whooping would be suitable.
Yeah.
There's street justice as well as real justice. So it's coming. I mean, guys like that don't get to walk around doing that for long. So
Exactly.
Right.
somebody's gonna
Right.
catch him slipping.
But you know what's the fucked up thing about that? You whip his ass, but then you go to jail.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like,
Right.
like, what
No,
the fuck? I just
absolutely.
did. I was
Exactly.
a
I
vigilante.
think if a judge got wind of why you whipped his ass,
Yeah.
you wouldn't.
It'd be like,
You'd probably do
okay.
like 10
He
hours
self-defense,
community
he swung
service.
his sword at me.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
do 30 minutes community service and you'll be all right.
Then the judge is gonna be like, let me whip his ass.
The officer, he swung his sword at me. I had to bust him. Right?
So okay, so he has a tattoo on his right arm, right?
Yeah,
what kind of tattoo is that?
It's
Texas
like a feather or some shit.
feather. Okay, so if you see a white guy out there with short, dirty blonde hair and happens to have a feather tattoo, and you're in the San Francisco area, why are you watching our show? But if you happen to be, watching our show, maybe
Yep.
we can help you. Maybe we can help society by catching this guy.
Get this
Like
bastard on
I
the
just
street.
want to know, dude, if you're watching with the feather, because mentality shows getting out there, right? Like, if you're watching, man, what are you trying to do? Are you promoting you want a Lego set made out of you or some shit, like a little Lego jacking off in windows? Like, what's your point? What's the end game here? So
Right.
I don't understand that part. So if you're watching, man, turn yourself in, do the time real quick, get out and get your
Get
shit
help.
together.
Yeah,
Get some help.
yeah, get some type of mental health. Now,
Exactly.
one thing I didn't do earlier in the show, as far as our introduction to Miss Heather Francis here, I believe there's a reel that we have, right? Am I right, Texie?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let's go ahead and show that reel introducing our host, Miss Heather Francis.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Heather Francis, and welcome to the Dab Company, your exclusive sisterhood to share your challenges and get some answers from a modern-day girl who's been there too. Our next question comes from Samantha. Samantha asks, how do I tell a boy that I like him? Well, first, you have to pull them out of the closet, right? Line them up in front of you, lightest to darkest or smallest to biggest. Here's my 3-step personal solution to get over the fight and get your relationship back to a good place. Start by walking away. Say what you are truly feeling. Remind each other of why you make a good team. When we come back, we're talking about a lifetime of happiness. Here's an example. These were just a pair of jeans that look similar to the ones that I recreated.
Okay, what about those?
Right, so I cut them and I turned them
Oh my
into
God.
shorts to a new creation. If you check us out at lovedab.com, we've got tons of blogs and instructions on how to recycle all of your jeans.
Thank you so much for being
Thank
with
you
us.
for having me.
We'll be right back. That's lovedab.com.
It took me years, from my teens to my 20s, to find my down and beautiful self. But now it's time for you to find yours. I'm Heather Francis, and you're watching Dab TV. If you're wondering how to break out of the shy zone and make more friends, I've got some great tips for you. Yes, ladies, there is a correct way to shave your legs. I never knew there was a correct formula to find the perfect bra. I mean, who would have thought? Thank you for watching Dab TV. You can follow us on Facebook and Twitter, but don't forget, send us all of your down and beautiful questions to lovedab.com.
Miss Heather Francis here. Heather Francis, so you have this online business that empowers women, and also men can ask questions as well. My question to you is, what's the most important advice? You've given a lot of advice to women over the years. What would you say is the most important advice that you could give a woman today?
Sure. Well, I mean, there's a lot of things, obviously. But my go-to for any woman that's going through a hard time, I would say you have to follow your gut. It's something that we've been given to from the universe up above. I don't know what it is you believe in, whether it's God or Buddha or whoever. It doesn't matter. But we've given this gift, and we have like our first intuition. And a lot of us, because I think of the way society is and the peer pressure that we get, we always second guess ourselves because, I'm not good enough, or I should have done this differently. But like really there's an answer that lies within us, and it's usually like within our hearts. And so I think that following that first and foremost, it will get you a lot of success if you listen to yourself.
Right. Listen to yourself. And
Yeah,
your
and being
beliefs.
true to yourself too, at the end of the day. It's like, and that's what I would have to say.
That's great advice for women and men. I just believe human beings in general. That just believe in yourself, have confidence in yourself, and just go with your gut, like you said. Go with your heart. And we as men here, there's a lot. I always say this on the show: women are a paradox wrapped in their own enigma. We can't figure them out. And women say they can't figure us out. So what would you say is the question you get the most from women regarding men? what is the number one question you get that women want to know about us? And maybe we can answer that question.
I mean, for me personally, I feel like sometimes, like, I mean, you guys are great. You obviously have your show, your conversation and stuff. But sometimes, like, having a conversation with a guy, it's just so flat. Like, it's just like you know, it's like one word answers. You know, like I hate the one word answers. Like, I'm trying to have a full on conversation, and I'm like, how was your day? It was good. Yeah. Okay, but like, how was like your day? Like, tell me about your day. Or do I have to say it that way in order for you to like explain it?
Oh my God, that is so Texie. This guy is hey, what's up, Texie? Yo.
No, he's not like,
yo.
He's like, sup.
Yeah, so this guy even texts the way he talks. So,
okay.
Yo. That's funny.
And you're like, wait, what did I do wrong? Like, you're like, what happened?
You mad at me?
So it's a lot of boring men out there who have no personality.
No. I wouldn't go that far. I mean, there's a lot of fun, cool men out there.
Trying to be
like
cool.
all of yourselves. Yeah. But no, I mean, for me, because like I'm always like, oh, what else? What else can we talk about? And so that's a big thing. Yeah, I mean, men are definitely complicated, especially like we're not mind readers as women. And like, oh, this is a perfect example. Like my fiance Kevin, I love you to death, baby. But like so, this has been a thing for us recently. It's like, okay, so like I got dressed up in this amazing green dress. Like we're going out to dinner, and he knows the story very well. But like I like spent like 4 hours getting myself ready, and I'm thinking I'm looking like really good. I come down the stairs, and like, you know, he's like, oh, he grabs the keys, and we go to the car. I'm like, no compliment, nothing. Okay, whatever, like it's fine. I know I look good. I don't need a man to compliment me and make me feel better. But we're driving downtown, and this like Ferrari pulls up next to us, and like, or it's like a Bentley or something, like one of the really good ones. And he looks and goes, damn, that's gorgeous. And I'm like, the same fucking day that I mean, and like, I'm like, really? And so like, we've had this thing, and he's gotten a lot better about like being really good and really smart about that. But that's like a lot of things with guys is like, you know, we've been in these relationships for so long, and it's like, you know, and I think it can go both ways. I think women should be complimenting their men as well. Yeah. But I think the compliments have really like, it's gone downhill for a lot of like people in the world today.
Yeah. That's a very good point, man. If you're dating someone, you're with someone, it's always important to make that person feel special. And the only way you can do that is through what, gentlemen? Let's see if you know the word here I'm about to say.
The D.
That's not it.
That wasn't it. Okay.
Damn it, Sean, his eyes are so serious, like the D. That is.
I was gonna say it in synchronicity, whatever the fuck the word is. I thought we were gonna all say it. What is the word that landed?
Communication, gentlemen. Communication.
Communication. Yes, sorry.
I was close. You started with a C. Mine started with a D. Fuck.
Almost there.
You were right there.
Yeah.
You missed the letter.
I think what Heather also was pointing to was that's funny that, I mean, in some type of way, I bet that felt good to hear that from somebody, to acknowledge that you are beautiful as you are, and you wanted that from your man, though, you know, and that's something that I noticed. Like you want to always compliment your woman, like whether y'all first started dating or if it's like 10 years down,
right? Yeah.
Because if you don't compliment her, somebody else will,
of course,
and then you want those points. You don't want that, like, you know. She's like, when you're fucking, you know, like, she's like, man, that dude said I was fine.
Right.
Now she's thinking about him.
No, that's not cool. You want to at least throw some of your seasoning on her, and make sure she knows that you realize how beautiful she is. Of course. And I'm sure your man does.
I know. He does. He really does. And I know that, you know, and I don't need him to tell me that every day. But even, it's not even like about telling me I'm beautiful. It's like, doing things, you know, like if I clean the house or something, and it's like I want some, like, hey, good job, babe, thank you for, you know, or like that, and that's like a big thing I think in relationships too, because it's not just about the looks or anything. And it's a friend of mine too that's like, you know, what went wrong in her marriage is like, you know, hear about all these like men like doing things for their wives and like saying like, oh, great job with the kids today, babe, and like, you know, and then and that just gets lost, and it's not that they don't mean it, because in their heart of hearts, you know, of course, like they know what they have, and you know, everybody's lucky, but I think communication is
people start to take the other for granted. Exactly. Even like you said, it's in their heart, but they just
normal. It gets normal. Exactly. It's like you know, I think absence makes the heart grow fonder for sure, and I think that when you're separated from each other a lot, then you can have those moments where it's easier to compliment. Oh, I missed you, like you know, and that's nice. But when you're together all the time, 24/7, it's like you forget that.
You know, that's gonna go ahead and move us into our next topic here. Some of the things you you just said.
Right.
Our topic is, as I mentioned it earlier, can a relationship survive without sex? And what prompted this here is we actually got an email from one of our viewers here, and let me read it. Okay. Dear Mentality Show. Okay, my wife and I have been married for 9 years this coming September. Before becoming married, she and I had an extremely healthy sex life compared to most, and that carried on after our marriage as well until about 3 years ago. For the past 3 years, my wife and I have been basically sexless. Okay, we've tried everything to remedy this problem, toys, vacation, getaways, and even therapy. Okay, they even had therapy, but nothing helped.
Damn.
I don't understand this because we don't suffer from what most couples do when this problem occurs in other marriages. We are financially secure for the most part, and we don't have any children because, as we know, children and finances can be a problem when it comes to sex and marriages or relationships. I know my wife and I love one another, but for some reason, she won't touch me. I'm going crazy over here trying to figure this out. Can you men and women today please give me some insight as to what is going on and what I can do? Please, fellow Mentalian. Now, those of you who are listening, if you want to call in on this, once again, the number is 818-570-5085. Give us a call. You can chime in on this. But, gentlemen, what is going on here? What's happening in this
Maybe he
marriage?
needs to hire a private eye or something.
Yeah, you know what, man? And
You think she's cheating?
I
huh?
think, you know what? Look, when you're with somebody, dude,
Possible.
yeah, when you're with somebody and you've been with somebody that long and you're married for 9 years, you have no kids. You know what I mean? There's no kids involved. You're financially secure. If she's not doing anything, you know, and there's supposedly saying there's nothing wrong, I mean, there's definitely something wrong there. She's doing something. So she has to be getting something on the side. She's not satisfying him. I don't know.
I have a theory.
Yes.
I have a
Yeah.
theory.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if it's something a little bit more personal with her. Like, does she have really bad periods, or can she not have children? Like, what's the deal with that? Like, have they been trying to have children and they can't have children?
Right.
And if they can't, then
She feels like less of
she
a
says
woman.
it's okay, whatever, I can move on. But what if she really wants that, and maybe her sex drive is lost because of that? You know, and it's also possible she could be seeing somebody else, or maybe it's a possible, like, maybe they used to like have a threesome or something, and then and it was cool, but then all of a sudden now she doesn't think it's cool, and now she doesn't like him because of what had happened. I mean, there's
Tons of
endless
suggestions.
possibilities. We just need to talk to this
So it
guy and
could be-
figure out like what's really,
Yeah,
you know.
we can pick his brain. Maybe there's a health reason. Maybe
health
she's,
reason, you know?
yeah, women have to go through that. And sometimes women have hormonal issues and things like
Yes.
that affects them wanting to
have sex.
Have sex. And you touched on it earlier. Maybe this guy's not acknowledging or complimenting his woman enough and making her feel sexy where she wants
She
to have
wants
sex
to.
with him. But he
Right.
says he's done everything. He loves his wife, and
Right.
they've gotten therapy. So you would think they would discuss those things in therapy as well.
Right.
But shit, but
right.
it's been three. But it's been 3 years.
3
Sorry, good job. But it's been
3
3
years,
years.
right.
Like, goddamn.
Right.
Here's
Yeah,
the
it's a
question:
long time.
how long should a couple wait until they like break up? It's been 3 years, man. Like,
Yeah.
3
Yeah.
years
How
without
long-
sex?
Yeah.
Really? Come on.
That's up to them.
3 years?
Yeah.
Is there a
3 years,
time you should just throw in the towel, basically?
Yeah,
Yeah, they gotta throw in the
Yeah.
bed sheets, bro, because this is
Right.
too long for me.
Before
Yeah.
we go
Yeah.
there, because we're going to discuss that about throwing in the towel, because maybe towards the end of this we'll be like, damn, dude, it's done, throwing the towel. Let's figure out how you can fix it. I mean, first of all, let's figure out what is considered a sexless marriage. Are we talking once a week, once a month, 10 times a year, which is about, once a month, I guess.
10 times.
10 times a year
Yeah.
is no go. Like,
That's
yeah,
once
we
a
need
month.
to be doing more than that.
That's about once a month. Yeah.
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 That's a session. 10 times is like that's a good week.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
vacation.
Yeah, right?
So, like,
Exactly.
Yeah, I knocked that shit out.
Fucking do 7 rounds, motherfucker.
I think, honestly, this gentleman right here needs to get a PI
Yeah.
and also investigate his own inner realm and see if this is really the relationship that's for him. Because, I mean, not that sex is everything, but it's about it's great. You know,
Yeah,
you're
it's
not
a
getting it
huge
from
portion.
your partner.
Yeah.
You're getting
Yeah.
it from either yourself or porno with a fantasy or
Right.
another. She's getting it from another guy,
Right.
and then that wife can't fulfill that same shit. So, I think both sides. We don't know the whole dynamic here. We do know is they ain't fucked in 3 years.
Yeah, that's a long ass time.
That's absurd. I mean,
That's
I
horrible.
I've never even like,
Yeah.
but you know, then
Somebody's-
again, does he have ED? Does she have? Does she have?
Yeah, like Heather said, like
something
something's going
yeah,
on, yeah.
physically.
Yeah.
We
But
don't know.
even if he has ED, I mean, you would think that you guys would work through that somehow.
But
I mean,
you
there's
got pills-
oral
you got-
sex.
You got pills for that, bro.
You
You
got
got pills
pills.
for that. You got
Yeah, there's
all this crap.
Viagra, there's oral sex,
Whatever.
there's you know,
Whatever.
all kinds of things you can do for that. Tech C, what can you do for that? No, now, as I read, according to statistics in Newsweek, about 50. I've done my research on this. About 15 to 20, according to statistics in Newsweek. Okay, I'm not just saying according to statistics. Okay? I got my source here.
It's statistics.
In Newsweek, about 15 to 20% of couples are involved in sexless marriages. But here's the interesting thing. According to Newsweek as well, about 15% of married couples cheat as well. 15 to 20% of married couples cheat.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a link there. You know, I saw that. But in order, sort of what you touched on, LaDon, intimacy, it keeps you glued together. It's what you need in order to nurture your connection to your spouse, right? It says you'll be a lot happier with each other and you'll feel more cared about if you're regularly having sex, okay? So having sex at least once a week can also increase longevity, according to a recent study. They say once a week. They say that's a healthy sex life once a week.
Hell no.
You guys agree with that?
More than that.
It depends on how you counting your sex too, because your sex can be like when you go through a all nighter, you bang it like 3 times or something. Like, is that
Right.
one round of sex? Is it
Right,
like
right.
because we smashed tonight, but it's not this once.
It's
Does that
more
count
like
as 3,
contact.
4, right?
Yeah.
You know,
It adds up. It adds
so
up.
it depends how people count it. You know,
Right. But see, the thing is, okay, looking at this again, and they already had help. They went through professional
Right.
help, and nothing's been done.
Right.
Right. That's the
So
hard
when
part.
the hell do you call it quits?
Right.
How long would it? What? 3 more months? A year?
Yeah.
What at the most? I mean, I know you love me and stuff, but come on, man, 3 years?
when the
No.
private investigator catches that video and all that, that's when you call it.
Yeah.
You say, you know what? This shit's a wrap. The PI
Right,
got the whole
right.
scoop.
But see, look, they have no kids.
They got a
They
TV
also have
show
no
called
kids.
Cheaters.
That's a little awkward too, but
Yeah.
not to disrespect anybody that's a couple without kids. That
Right.
does. Some people don't want kids,
Right.
but I mean, shit.
You can go.
Yeah, like-
you can leave.
Yeah, right. You just have to
No,
tie you
that's-
down. Yeah.
especially with no kids. You got that. There's nothing eternal there. Like
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
a child, you got that's an eternal thing. Like it's always gonna be your kid.
Yeah.
A marriage without a child and the sex is bad and you ain't fucking 3 years. I mean, adios,
hell no, bro.
adios
Right.
on that shit.
Vámonos.
Yeah, just that's gotta go.
Yeah,
I
man,
don't,
that's no.
I don't understand that whole concept. But to my Mentalian out there that did write to us, just keep your head up, man. I would say it's not that much money to get a PI. Just start there.
Right?
Yeah.
Start there.
She could be cheating, or let's think about this, gentlemen. What if people change, situations change,
Right.
ideas change. What if she's gay?
Right.
Probably.
Yeah,
What
that's,
if she-
that
knows?
could
What if
definitely
she's
be
attracted to other
possible.
women now? You know.
That is true.
And you got to think about when you first start dating someone, it's hot when, your girl's with you and she's like, yeah, I like to fuck other women. You're like, oh, that's hot.
Right. Yeah.
Now here it is, you're married in 3 years, you haven't fucked her because she likes to fuck other women. you know?
Right, right. That's,
So-
that's a real possibility.
Yeah,
I mean, that
yeah.
really happens a lot in the
Yeah,
world. So
yeah.
it's
Tell us about
definitely-
that. No, it's,
Delano.
It's true, though.
you have the
It's
floor.
true.
Yes, exactly.
Perfect.
So no, it does happen. That's a possibility. And then this gentleman, I really want to have when I read this email, I felt really bad for the guy.
Yeah.
And I wanted to put it out there. And I knew we were having you this week also, Heather. So you gave your input on
Yeah,
it. What can he do to possibly fix
I
this?
mean, the last thing I would say is I would just really sit her down and and say like, hey, like, where is this going? Because I need to be fulfilled in a certain way,
Right.
and I'm hoping that you do too. But really, just really like hash it out. I mean, you can say things with therapists. Sometimes we hold things inside because we don't want to hurt each other's feelings.
right.
But he's really got to lay down on like his kind of like how he how he's feeling, and I think that might get him some answers. And if it doesn't, then he's got to tell her, hey, I got to move on, because if like you said, if he's writing to us and he's like worried that he's not having sex, he's obviously needs to have sex in his life. He's not one of these
course,
guys that
yeah.
can just give it up and still stay with her because he loves her. You know, so I think that he just needs to communicate.
yeah, absolute communication. You're gonna say something.
There
Michelle?
are definitely some possibilities where, okay, you think of all the scenarios like you said about this could be, like a sexless thing because of health or whatever. I think they actually met at a bingo game. They were senior citizens. The motherfucker was about
That
70,
is a possibility.
and they've
Oh,
been
yeah. How
married
old is this
till he
dude?
was 79,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and she was like 67
Right.
after
just
menopause, and they
Pause,
don't.
yeah.
they don't fuck.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
that's the only considerable situation that makes sense.
Right.
It's a
I
good
mean,
analogy.
they
That's
could
great.
be buddy. It's just like a buddy relationship without. But I mean, he's watching a
Companionship.
gang of porn. I mean,
Sounds going on.
his phone is.
Sounds going
That
on.
bare, that barely
Yeah,
legal
yeah,
porn.
Check history.
Right.
Yeah.
8-year-old man's watching that barely legal shit.
That's wow. I didn't think about that because he doesn't say his age here.
Yeah,
Right.
that's
He just says my wife and I. You would think maybe he's a middle-aged guy or somewhere around our age, you know. But
So like, what's your minimum per week? You said once is not enough. So
No, that's the question I was gonna ask. Like, what is
for
healthy
you,
relationship?
for
me,
you, for you.
dude, it has to be at least 4 more, man. Like 4 or
Four?
5 at least, you know.
he's like a 19-year-old.
Yeah.
Hey, so, yeah.
How many you need a week?
need
Yes.
to need.
Okay.
Okay, but you know, I would.
But average.
Well,
In a
Yeah.
perfect world,
Yeah.
7 times a week.
Yeah,
something like
yeah, me too.
47,
That's my
right?
answer
Shit,
too.
yeah. You know.
Want? Yes, 7
Right.
to 10.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
We're not gonna skip any players.
We'll skip.
We'll go into
Yeah.
LaShonda Dunn. I gotta get Heather first.
How many times?
Yeah, want 7 to 10 for sure, maybe
Yeah.
15.
There you
But,
go. There you go.
but,
All right.
Boom.
but realistically, because of like careers and everything, realistically 3, 4 I'd have to do. But
Yeah.
Thank you. That's right.
I think I'm a wake and bake type of guy. Like
So you're waking
I
up.
wake up and that'll start your day. It's like the thing
talk about
when you
that.
wake up, it's like coffee. I mean, just wake up and fuck her.
Right.
You know,
Best
like,
part of
just-
waking up.
just make love to her. You know, like because in the morning and you know my wife's gonna watch this and slap the shit out of me, but it's all good.
I
But
get those slaps too. don't worry
in the
about it.
morning, that's the coffee.
Yeah.
Right. Roll over. it.
And when yes, you know, so it's like hey, you know, the spooning position turns into fucking. You know, like,
Hey, I don't believe in spooning, man, because spooning is gonna turn into something different, man.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, I would say at least bare minimum,
Yeah.
at least 3 a week.
at least.
At least fuck 3 times a week.
I'm there.
How many rounds though?
3 times for me.
Yeah,
At least.
and it depends on how you counting them.
Exactly.
So the 3 times a week could be.
21.
3 sessions.
Vato, he's
sessions.
crazy, man. Like,
Hey, he ain't lying either. This dude is. He's telling me some stories, man. Yes.
Can I just say, if I'm having sex in the morning though, like I don't even count that as actually having sex because I'm still sleeping when it's going on. So like for me, like I would love nothing more than to have afternoon sex. Like
Oh,
come
my
home
God.
and get it.
Talking about that.
Like that is like the way to go for
Yes.
me, like as a woman. And I know a lot of women
Yes.
feel this way because I've had a conversation with this about my girls. You know, it's like we're like just waking up here. Like our makeup is all fucked up from the night before. We don't feel sexy. We have to pee right when we get up. You know, so like if you're like
Yeah.
sticking it in, I have to go to the bathroom. Like it's not feeling good for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey,
Unless you're dating R.
Yeah.
Kelly or something.
Well, for me, it's gonna be good morning, good afternoon, and good
And that,
night.
right, that works too. You know,
Afternoon
at least like
delight.
everyone's happy at the same
Right.
time.
Yes. Afternoon
I
delight.
think guys sometimes we get pissed off because our lady, you know, they'll do things like get fly, you know, and then like, hold on, babe, I gotta take my makeup off. No,
Yeah,
no,
Hell no.
leave all that shit on.
Yes.
I want the
Yeah.
fantasy. I want the whole thing. I don't want.
Yes.
All right,
Right.
I'm gonna get in my sweats and
it's-
pajamas, and
Yeah.
all right, I'm ready, and just stick a butt up.
Yeah.
No,
Right.
no,
Just
you
seize the
want
moment.
you want to have that look that everybody else was like, dang, she's fly.
Yeah.
You want to fuck like that. You know what I, oh, my bad. Make love.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm being
You
insensitive.
gotta keep it up.
But I'm just saying, like, you kind of like, and I don't know if I don't know your dynamic in your situation, but I do know that like he wants you like that.
Yeah.
Don't
No,
come home
yeah.
and then.
Yeah, no, I like.
I
to
gotta
put-
get in some sweats.
Yeah.
I like to put my makeup on.
keep the
I like
boots
to get
on.
sexy. I like
Yeah.
to choose the hair and put the nice.
There you go.
lingerie
You got some
on.
really
Yeah,
nice
that's
boots
fun,
on.
that's
Make sure
fun.
you-
Thank you. Thank you.
Let's see those boots, Heather.
Yeah, show them boots.
There you go.
Wear the boots like that.
That's what we
Keep
want.
the boots. Keep the boots on. You're a very lucky man, Mr. Francis.
Did you get those you got those from Rick James or what? Like those boots are fly as fuck.
Thank you.
There you go.
Santee Alley, actually, downtown LA, fashion
go.
district.
Yeah.
you
Shouts
would,
out.
Yeah, you would think that they're like $1,000 shoes, but no, I got them for like $100.
There you go.
That was exciting.
She's a very kinky girl. Yeah, man, that is so. Yeah, it's okay. So, what I like to do when I'm in a relationship, I've been in a relationship for a long time. I don't know if you gentlemen have been in relationships where the sex starts to fizzle out. I've never been in a relationship like that, but I've been in relationships for a long time where maybe you might have, the sex becomes more boring. Okay, so what I like to do, I like to think back to when, and they say this is healthy. The statistics say you think back to when you first met that person, okay, and you first started dating. You try to recapture some of those spontaneous moments, those getting to know each other moments, And LaShawn, you just hit on something too. Go out with your woman. Notice how many men are looking at her and checking her out, and it makes you, when you go home, you're like, damn, these dudes want what I got.
Yeah.
And now I'm up in
That's
it,
really good.
and
That's
this is
so
just
true.
a good moment. You know what I mean?
I agree with that.
It's a good place to be.
Honestly, it's the same effect for your woman too.
Right.
They turn into lionesses whenever you out with them, and
Yeah.
like I'm sure if your guy's any type of man that you say he is, which I believe, you get pissed if chicks are just like, hey, just
Up to him? Oh, yeah.
You get mad.
next to him?
It's
Oh,
just-
yeah, I get mad.
That's something that
yeah.
But then you want
Not
want
as
my
much
fish.
anymore, but when we first started dating, it was bad. Yeah, I got super jealous.
It's like there's plenty of fish in the sea, but bitch, that's my
But
fish.
yeah, that's like sitting next to my man. Yeah.
That's how women think. That's how they think.
Yeah,
That's
well,
how they
this
think.
is a funny story. One of my girls, she's my good girlfriend now, Brandy. I love her. But we were at a club and I didn't know her, and like I just met the girl and she was like dancing up on him, and I was like, bitch. It's like I pulled her away from him. I'm like, don't you be doing that.
That's right.
And so we ended up becoming friends, but it's funny, we have this joke, we call it the 3-foot rule. And it's so like, you better stay 3 feet away from my man. But now
That's right.
we lifted the 3-foot rule because now we're friends and she can do whatever she wants. She gets the next
Now
one.
it's
I
like
don't
2
care.
feet.
Yeah,
2
yeah,
feet.
yeah.
2 feet now, bitch.
Arms length.
Yeah.
Sit on the other chair.
Drunk at night, will be join in with us.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
You have the floor now.
Well, I'll be. Well, no, never mind. My parents might be listening. Never mind.
Mom, Dad, turn it off. Turn it off.
Well, we'll talk about this and bring you back for another show.
Mom and Dad, turn off the show right now. Let's hear
We'll
this
come
story.
back next time.
So, Tech C, we didn't get your answer. How many times a
I
week
said
for you?
3. I said I'm with you guys. 3.
Oh, 3. Okay, you need 3 or you do 3? What is it?
I need 3.
You need 3. But
need
what do
at
you
least-
what do you want?
I would like every other day. So whatever that. It's
like 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Sure.
4.5.
If I don't get my 4th,
I get what's the word for
I get
hangry?
Hangry.
Sex
I get sex.
Sexually frustrated? I don't know.
So next time you acting like you're just an asshole, I'm like, did you get your 4th?
I'm all right.
Something tells me to get the 4th number. I got 3.
He's hungry and he didn't get his 4th.
I know.
All right, so
Bastard.
have you guys, speaking of what Heather talked about, have you ever been with had other men around your woman that you felt a little like, hey, I don't want this dude around my girl because I don't trust this guy or something like that?
You know what it is, man? I personally see it as like a kind of like a compliment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, this motherfucker's checking out my
Yes.
leg. You know what I mean?
That's hot to me, man.
I got this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
As long as you
Yeah.
don't
It's
confidence,
try
you know?
anything,
Trust,
you know?
yeah.
One time my girl and I, my ex-girl, because I'm single, ladies, my ex-girl and I, we went out to a club years ago, and we pretended like we weren't together, right?
Okay.
Role play.
And she went in one side of the club, I went in the other side of the club. And
that's
all these
cute.
guys were hitting on her and this and that. And there was this one guy talking to her a little bit too long. So I went up to him. I'm like, hey, man, that girl you talking to, she hot, man. What was she talking about? Oh, man, she said she, this and this and that. And I just kept asking all these questions. Dude looked at me like, man, are you gay or you either this is your girl or you're gay, right? I'm like, no, man, I'm good. And then he told me the last thing she said to him was, oh, yeah, I'm with this loser guy, and I'm getting ready to break up with him and da-da-da. And I was like, check, please. Time to go, bitch. We need to talk. It turned out to be ugly, But it was hot at first because all these dudes were trying to get with her. And once we worked it out, we had some good sex. And,
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
lived happily ever after.
Makeup sex is the
Interesting.
best.
Yes.
I agree.
Yes. Oh, my gosh.
100%.
Makeup sex and afternoon sex.
Yeah.
Afternoon
is-
sex.
Night sex.
I agree though. She said so. for us, it's more pleasurable in the morning, like to wake up, you know, and
You wake up with the morning wood.
Right, and that's
Yep.
your that's how you get going for your day. I get it.
but
Morning wood.
I
Morning.
Best part
Yeah.
of waking up.
is penis in
Yo,
vagina.
yeah, or penis in your
I was
butt.
gonna say
yeah,
penis
just-
in your mouth.
Yeah, you know, whatever's healthy for you. But
So, yeah, go ahead.
go ahead,
Slushy.
go ahead.
No, we got a
the
few more
line-up,
minutes.
you know
Yeah,
how we
for
do it. But yeah, I just think the guy that called in, that was a senior citizen by far.
Had to be.
That
Had
was
to be.
not somebody in a regular
Yeah.
normal relationship. Because if it was, any of his friends would have told him he had to reach out to the Mentality Show.
Right. Yeah.
So that tells you
How
two-
desperate he is.
two things. Yeah, like,
If you hitting us up with
Yeah,
this, you
yeah.
desperate.
Oh shit.
yeah.
Oh, there.
Call Dr. Phil.
Go, man.
Right. Call Dr. Phil or something. So we're gonna go ahead. My thing, the way to end this is it's the way to solve all issues in a relationship. And you said you got therapy. I'm sorry it didn't work, so maybe it is time to throw in the towel. But the
gotta let
best
it
way
go.
to fix situations like this, and I have it here, is communication.
Yeah.
And that all starts from the beginning of when you first met that person all the way until, you know, the end, I guess. You know, hopefully you won't have an end with the proper communication. So talk to your woman. This includes anybody in your relationship, family. I talk to you guys all the time.
Yeah.
I'm talking to my Mentalians right
Let
now.
'em know.
You know, you guys know who I am. You know who we are, and
Right.
and call in if you want to talk to us. That's what it's all about.
You said communication, man. The last thing this guy has to tell his lady and communicate is, gotta go, bitch.
Maybe he shouldn't communicate. Just grab her and
I know, that's right. But then,
Communicate.
what if she doesn't? And
wake her up
she's
and
raped.
stick it in her.
Yo,
I said,
I'm serious, y'all. I remember watching.
That's rape, sir. That's called
Never mind, my story's
married,
done
they're
now. I
married.
can't even say my story because I'm not even jumping in that quicksand. Fuck that. No, I'm
right,
done.
guys.
I'm not even gonna say that story now. Fuck
So-
that. Okay, Game of Thrones. All right. So I don't know who watches that. Right?
Yes.
By show of hands, who watches
Yes.
that?
I haven't watched it yet.
Okay.
I've never watched it.
Oh,
Yeah,
Sorry.
it's a drug. It's a new drug that's on the streets right now called Game of Thrones. Anyway, there's a scene where this guy and he just like he just it's a wife by, I guess, like a sale. You know, I don't know how they used to do things back in the day, but the guy ended up getting this wife by purchase or something, or some type of deal. He would just take it like which is called rape in the United States, ladies and gentlemen. But for whatever reason, that shit sparks something in women, and not rape doesn't spark anything in women. That's freaking terrible. But
Some women like you to grab them and
just
take over.
be
Yeah.
They-
Be
like
a man
aggressive.
boy.
Be
Yeah.
aggressive.
Yeah.
Be a man.
No means no, gentlemen. Don't
Hell
take
yeah.
LaShonda
Yes.
Don for
Right,
some
right,
fucking
right.
simp.
Yes.
Like, no, you cannot do that, gentlemen. You will go to jail.
right.
I'm sorry. We got to go ahead in here. We got about one more minute left. We're going to go ahead and hand it before we end it. Vato V has first of all, the word of the day, Mexican word of the day, Vato V. What's that going to be?
Mexican word of the day, guys, is hoochie.
Hoochie. And how's that the Mexican word of the day, Vato V?
My lady found a girl's number in my cell and said, "Tell me who she is."
That's for all of our Mexicans out there, Mexican word of the day. And you also have another special amount on the serious note.
Hey, you guys, on a serious note, you guys, you know, I have one of my buddies, and she's also a fellow Mentalian. She's they're out in Texas, Dallas, Texas. She's a very good friend of mine. We grew up together. And on a serious note, her name is Iracy Ponciano Spencer.
Want to spell that for him?
You know, it's a YARSI.
It's on social media.
You know, it's on social
Okay,
media.
yeah.
We posted it on our on our Facebook account. You know, unfortunately, she has leukemia. She's been battling cancer for a while, and she has a GoFundMe account. So you guys can go on there and check us out, and you know, go on to our the Mentality Show. Check it out. If you guys can help her out, that'd be great. Anything helps, man. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. And
You can find it in your hearts to
Yeah.
help out, man.
Heavy,
absolutely.
They'd appreciate
That's
it.
right.
That's
You
hard
know.
to deal with. That's very hard to do.
And that's, you know, she's a friend of mine. We love you and you and your family, and you know, trying to help you out as much as we can. So, you know, with the best wishes, I hope everything goes well, and
May God bless
Yeah,
you.
may God bless you, and everything goes well.
All right, and let's go ahead and thank our special guest here today, Miss Heather Francis. Thanks for
Francis.
being here.
Yes,
thanks for being here.
Where can we find you? Where can we
Very
find you on
fun.
social media, right? Where can
Sure,
we-
yeah, you can find me on, if you go to lovedab.com, it's got all my social media on there. But if you're on Instagram, you can check me out at dabtv_. I'm going to spell it for you because it's Heather Francis, but I spell it with an Y. So it's DabTV _HeathyrFrances.
There you go.
Okay.
All right. So, all right, folks, thanks for being here. All of our Mentalians out there. I'd like to give a shout out to my people from Arkansas. My boy, David Stuckey, Paul Person in the house. Thanks for watching. Go ahead, LaShawn.
Yo, check me out, the Federal Baller tonight. North
Yes.
Hollywood.
That's right.
I'm throwing down some jokes.
Come
so,
down, hang with us. We'll all
come
be there.
laugh, get
That's right.
drunk, and have fun with us. We'll
Hey,
see you there.
to our
I'll
sponsor.
make fun of him.
That's the
To
best.
our sponsor.
Yes.
LA Ariel. LA Ariel.
LA Ariel. LA Ariel, yes.
Out. All the links will be in the YouTube. If you want to check us out on YouTube.
LA Ariel, that's right. All right, so if you want to catch all of our old episodes, catch us on YouTube anytime. Just type in The Mentality Show. We'll be on there. You're, of course, watching Facebook Live and LA Talk Radio. Thank you to our producer, Sammy, out there.
Sammy.
We love you guys. Mentalities, we'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Peace, love, happiness.
Vámonos, vatos.
You're listening to The Mentality Show, only on LA Talk Radio.